Have you ever quit watching shows because you felt like you were detaching away from reality, and after some period you realize that you have absolutely no social life, so you decide to go back watching them, and you make some research and you come across this new series on Netflix, and after watching the first 5 minutes of episode 1, you get more disappointed than your teacher when she finds out that you cheated on your exams the entire semester. But because the main character is extremely hot, you decide to watch the entire show anyway. Because same. So this show called Ginny and Georgia has been trending on social media lately, and I just really wanted to know what this hype is all about. And boy, if you thought Kissing Booth was bad,
good luck, Charlie.
I mean, I wanted to quit after watching episode 2 because it was just too much for my brain to handle. But because I wanted to make a video about it, I decided to sacrifice my sanity and watch the entire show. So please smash that like button. So yeah, Netflix has done it again. Another cliche, unoriginal high school drama series with very predictable plot. But what makes this show even more special is that it's probably the most unrealistic version of high school and teenagers.
Friday, happy Friday. Good morning, Ginny. Welcome to Friday.
In every high school drama show, we need a female character who is shy, introverted, who is extremely smart, not exposed to drugs, alcohol, boys, and she just moved into the town. So we have a new girl called Virginia, but we're gonna call her Ginny. And then we have our infamous bad boy named Marcus, who has absolutely no personality, like zero personality, very monotone, and I would say the most boring character in the show, but the actor is just fine as hell. And then we have the mother of Ginny, who is probably not the sanest person.
Say something, you got butter or not? Thanks, kid.
It's Marcus.
Don't do drugs, Marcus!
But she's definitely the one that carried the entire series on her back. Like, she made this show somewhat entertainable. And what kind of high school drama series it would be without our perfect guy who is smart, who is handsome, rich, and he's just school's heartthrob. And his name is Hunter. And what is funny is that he also has zero personality. Like, no personality at all. And I would say he's made me feel uncomfortable throughout the show because he's pretty cringe. So writers didn't make it really hard to make a choice between Marcus and Hunter because they're both just bad. Like, really, they have bad characters, but Hunter is just not it. Hunter is just making me feel uncomfortable and unwell in my stomach. In the first episode, we see Ginny and her brother Austin standing at the funeral of their stepdad. And they don't seem like they give two flying fucks because their stepdad was kind of a prick. And then we see Ginny's mother Georgia, who is hysterically fake crying because she actually murdered her husband in order to take over the heritage. And then we see the Karen of the show, who thinks that Georgia is a cheapskate and not her, but she should take over her ex-husband's heritage. So she hires some weirdo to stalk Georgia and tries to expose her dark past so she can take over the heritage herself. So this is basically the main plot of the show, but I just want to go back to Ginny and say that what makes her different than other high school drama main characters is that she is extremely bratty and she just hates her mother. And not like I care, but it's just hating her mother is kind of her personality trait the entire show. So Ginny moves into this town called Wellsburg. She just moved into her house and she ends up being neighbors with the infamous bad boy Marcus. I mean, it couldn't get more Wattpad story than this. And their first encounter happens to be when Ginny was talking on the phone and she looks out of the window and sees her neighbor Marcus sneaking out of his house from his window, like he doesn't have a door. And so their first encounter is like 5 seconds. They exchange looks for 5 seconds and that's it. That's how they meet. So keep that in mind. And then Ginny goes to school and she calls out this teacher for being sexist. Good for her. And some of her classmates like her. She makes some friends. And her best friend Maxine turns out to be the sister of Marcus. So when Ginny goes to her friend Max's house, Marcus suddenly comes in and he pretends that he's going to kiss Ginny, but he was actually taking the drugs that he hid under his sister's pillow. And then, as a revenge, Ginny later on decides to steal Marcus's motorcycle, and when she brings it back, she kisses him. And let's keep in mind that she was not exposed to boys. She never had a kiss or anything. So you would think that it's normal, but this entire thing happened 10 minutes into the episode 1. Like, the writers did not hold back. They didn't want to wait. Everything happened way too fast. I just could not catch up with it. I watched the entire show, and what's funny is that the episode 1 remains as the most chaotic episode. Like, you would think that it would get more exciting and just like nerve-wracking, but no. It all happened in episode 1. Then Marcus starts climbing to her window for some reason. Like, just use the door, please. You're not a Spider-Man. You are not. And they have this kind of routine going on. He just climbs to her window and they just talk. One time they did the dirty. So let's talk about Hunter and Ginny's relationship, which is very interesting because Hunter immediately likes Ginny the first time he sees her, and he tries to hit on her, and then after some really awkward conversations, Hunter finally decides to ask Ginny to be his girlfriend, and things go south from here. So at this point, Hunter and Ginny are dating. They're just really happy. Then she cheats on him with Marcus. I mean, come on. Hunter is such a perfect boyfriend. He did not deserve that. He literally tap danced for Ginny as a celebration of her birthday with his entire crew at school. I mean, that's what you should expect when you go to school. Your boyfriend tap dancing with his team in the middle of hallway. Not embarrassing at all, and that's what happens. I'm sure it happened to you. There's no chemistry between Ginny and Hunter, by the way. Neither between Ginny and Marcus. Maybe I couldn't catch it, but it was just like so out of the place and just random. So putting this love triangle aside, I would say that there were some decent parts of the show too. Like, I actually did enjoy some scenes. Each episode lasts for 50 minutes, and we had some enjoyable 5 minutes from each episode. So all jokes aside, I feel like the thing that I disliked the most about the show is that although they painted Ginny to be this perfect, anti-sexist woman, there were a lot of sexist comments made throughout the show. And even Ginny herself kept slut-shaming her mother.
Guessing that's over.
What do you care? You go through men faster than Taylor Swift.
Oh, good. I was waiting for this one to be all my fault.
I don't know, I just feel like this sends out the wrong message. And I think it would only be fair if I also share what I liked about the show, so it wouldn't be like a hate video, because that's not the point. I just wanted to share my opinion, and this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't sue me, Ginny and Georgia. And I think the friend group that Ginny had is just a perfect example of friendships nowadays. For example, Abby is fake, Maxine is self-centered, and as a friend group, they're just not there for each other when they need each other. So I feel like it's probably the most realistic part about the show, because that's how friendships unfortunately work in 21st century. You can't really find real friends. I mean, not you can't, let's not get too negative. It's hard to find real friends. So in this show, there are parts where we see Georgia's past and the struggle she went through, the abuse that she faced, which is important and it raised awareness. But then there's this part where we see Georgia burning her ex-husband's ashes as a celebration of her boyfriend getting elected as a mayor. So, would I recommend you this show? Nah. But watch at your own risk. So that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, turn your phone upside down, then dislike it. And if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comments down below. Or if you have any ideas of what I should film for my next video, just let me know in the comments down below. turn on your notification bell, and just subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Like, come on, fam, join the fam. I mean, become the part of the fam. Ew.